Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. It is Friday, March the 3rd, 2023. Happy Friday. I hope you're safe and healthy today. I hope your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are trying to save lives. Blessings upon those also who pick up garbage for us to keep our streets, our sidewalks, our buildings, our parks clean and disease free. And those also that making deliveries for like food and water, things like mail for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here helping to rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and the children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of prostitution and child prostitution, also victims of pornography and child pornography, victims of human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, double curses on the profiteers, and double curses on those perverts that make this industry possible. Finally, blessings upon those that are homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children in the United States today living in the streets, mostly children, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's a basketball game scheduled tonight. The New York Knicks are in Miami to face the Miami Heat. Now, couple things. Some didn't understand why I said these next two games are more important than the other ones that we just played. Let me reiterate. Every game is important right now. We're in March. We're in March, headed to the stretch run of the playoffs. Every game is important, every single one. But what we're looking at with the Knicks right now is the development of momentum. If you can go into the playoffs with momentum, that will help you a lot, especially in the first round, okay? And that also happens, this is one of the few areas where the NCAA and the league are very similar. In NC2A, you can get a team that might have been a middling team or a mid-ranked team all season, and all of a sudden they'll catch fire at the end of a season, and they'll go into the NC2A tournament with momentum, and they'll end up winning the whole thing. Okay, this happened lots of times. One of the most memorable times that I recall, one of the they call them Cinderellas, but you're talking about like a team like a 1986 Villanova team that went through. I mean, they were just a middle team. Massimino was the coach, and they just came. There was middling team, like top 20 rated, maybe top 25, but no top team. Then all of a sudden, Easy Ed Pinckney from the Bronx. All of a sudden, Gary, I forgot his name, from Hempstead, and then it was they had a bunch of dudes that were middling dudes. They came through. They started winning in the tournament, Big East tournament. Then all of a sudden they came through and they started winning in the NCAA tournament, and then they faced Patrick Ewing in Georgetown. Patrick Ewing in Georgetown was powerhouses. Patrick Ewing, I think, all 4 years he was at Georgetown, went to the Final Four. They only won one or two of them, but they went there 4 times in his 4 years. And so they were steamrolling everybody, John Thompson and them, until they got to Villanova. And they played Villanova in the finals, and Villanova beat them. And that was a big upset. Same thing with Kemba Walker's Connecticut team. I mean, that has happened. So momentum is big. In the playoffs also, momentum carries you. Momentum carried, for example, the Denver Nuggets almost to the final in the bubble if Murray didn't get hurt. See? But that's the type of thing we're talking about. And so right now, the Knicks have won 7 straight, okay? And so if they can, and this is a tough, this weekend is tough. They got to play Miami and Miami tonight, and in Boston, who's out for revenge. Boston's out for revenge. They got to play Boston on Sunday in Boston. Now, the thing is that what makes this so big is that right now, having won 7 straight going into these 2 games that are away games, first of all, we know that the Knicks have played better on the road than they played at home. The Knicks are 18-15 at home. They're 18-12 on the road. Okay, so they play better on the road, but you never want to take that for granted. Okay, you never want to just take that for granted. But if they can get through these two, and then they gotta face Charlotte. Okay, then they go on an extended road trip of about 4 games. Okay, but they face Charlotte. It could be a momentum builder, and if that's the case, they start rolling like that. Anything could happen, brother. And on top of that, what I'm saying is, right now they're a game and a half behind Cleveland. Okay, so if they start rolling like that, like I just mentioned, if they start rolling like that, okay, Cleveland's under pressure. Cleveland has to start winning just to be able to stay in the 4th seed. Okay, and it puts pressure on everybody above them. Okay, so that kind of thing. And it's interesting because 2 years ago, in I think I'm looking, it was like April, end of the season, they won 9 straight. Okay, 2 years ago, they won 9 straight end of the season. Here we are, 7 straight. Okay, so, and this is the second time that year they won 9 straight. I don't think they had a winning streak above 3 games all season. The Knicks have already had an 8-game winning streak. They've had a couple of 4-game winning streaks. So this is a better team. And so, like I said, if they can come through, and I know we got to take 1 game at a time. So tonight's Miami. They got to focus on Miami. And they're going to do that. Tom Thibodeau has them disciplined. But I'm saying, they win these 2 games, they might be a steamroller at that point. For us to be able to even have this conversation, seriously, for us to be able to even have this conversation like I said, y'all know, I was saying 45 wins or more from the beginning of the season. I told y'all as the season goes on, they'll get better. Don't trip early because Tom Thibodeau's teams gets better. They'll pick up the defense. And I told y'all, Mitch Rob is the key. And he is. Then the acquisition of Josh Hart was the coup de grace. So we know all this, but I'd be lying to you if I thought they were like at the point right now of becoming a juggernaut. That's what we're dealing with right now. Okay, a team that's a juggernaut, man. So if they can continue, and the key thing is of everything I just said too, plus the execution. And that's what we talked about yesterday. The execution down the stretch of games, the execution in the 4th quarter. That's a function of Jalen Brunson, obviously, an improved Julius Randle. Okay, and I want to talk about R.J. Barrett today. See, people, I understand fans are short for fanatics. That's what fans mean. Fans is short for fanatics. Sometimes fanatics can't be balanced. Got to go swing one way or the other. I do the same thing, I admit it, especially with the Knicks. But just because I mentioned that RJ, like right now, if you replaced him with a Mikal Bridges or a Jeremy Grant, the Knicks would vault. It's not like we have to trade him. Okay, the only players to me that the Knicks are really in danger of losing, and I've seen this report out there, and I don't always agree with all the reports. The media is mostly BS, but is Obi and IQ. Those are the 2 question marks coming into the offseason. Those are the 2 question marks because IQ can start. In fact, both of them can start for a lot of teams out here. Okay, both of them could be starters on another team. Okay, and starters means a whole lot. It means possible all-star bursts. It means money. It means opportunity. So that's those 2. We have to deal with this summer and see what the Knicks going to do. What's going to happen? But RJ, the only reason we mentioned RJ is because RJ's in year 4, but he's only 22 and he's acting like a 22-year-old. Okay, and not in terms of being immature. I'm talking about basketball-wise. That's where he is as a basketball player. And some people say, well, you can't keep using that as an excuse. Every reason is not an excuse. There is such a thing as reason. Okay? So, like, I have 4 children. My youngest son was ready to start walking when he was 10 months, 9 months old. I mean, on his feet, just trying his best to walk, right? And by the time he was 10 months old, he was walking. Okay? My youngest daughter wouldn't walk. She just would walk, almost to the point we were concerned a little bit. A year went by, and all of a sudden, just out of the blue, maybe month 12, month 13, she just stood up and started walking. Now, I couldn't judge her based on what my younger son did. See? That's what people are like when they're saying, look at this 22-year-old over here. Look at John Morant and look at RJ. That's a dumb comparison. It's like judging two kids and expecting them to grow at the same speed. Doesn't work that way. Okay? RJ has always been a late bloomer, slow, starts off slow. That's just how he is. He was like that at Duke. That's just how he is. Okay? So you can't judge him based on John Morant or Trae Young or any other guy that's 22 years old right now. That's not him. You got to judge him based on what his future is. And I'm sticking with what I said from the beginning. Just like I told y'all the Knicks going to win at least 45 games and some of y'all was laughing. And I told y'all they're going to get the defense together. Some of y'all talking about like you know more than Tom Thibodeau, which none of y'all do. Just like I told y'all that, I told y'all RJ's going to be 2.0 Jimmy Butler better. Okay? Jimmy Butler coming to the NBA at age 22. He was 22 when he came in the league. RJ was 19. There's a big difference. Okay? RJ's just turning 22. Wait till RJ's 24, 25. Okay? He's already had games where he's dropped 40. Okay? Already. Okay? So, yes, he is going to get better. The thing is that when I brought him up in the trade, what y'all need to understand is, yes, by the time RJ's 24, maybe 25, he's going to be tough. He's going to be a problem. Right now, though, Jeremy Grant is. That's the difference. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying 100% we need to go get him, but I'm saying it's a possibility. Because if they did, they'd be in the finals next year. That's all I'm saying. I could wait for RJ. I have no problem. Hang on to RJ. It's Knick culture now. We keep the players that we draft. Cool. So, but I want to bring all that up to say, I noticed something. I don't know if you might have noticed it in the last game against Brooklyn from RJ. RJ was way more efficient. I mean, and when I say efficient, the game, even, again, this is what you get with 22-year-olds. Okay? This is what you get with 22-year-olds. So the game before that, he was dribbling too much, taking too much of the clock, not passing, and being very inefficient. He must have looked at the video. He must have looked at this at the film, because in the game against Brooklyn, he only took 11 shots, and he was what was he? 5 of 11. He was 5 of 11, and he was 2 of 2 from 3, 3 of 5 from the line. Not that many shots. Very efficient. Only had 2 turnovers. He's another turnover machine, like Julius was, whatever. But 2 turnovers, played 28 minutes. And Grimes, he was looking for Grimes more. Now, it appears like, okay, he only scored 15 points. Grimes scored 22. But the efficiency aspect and the balance of it makes the team more dangerous, because Grimes shot 6 3-pointers. He's not going to do that every game, obviously. But if he can continue to shoot at the rate of, let's say, 40, 45% from 3, which I feel like Grimes is going to be that 50, 40, 90 type dude. That's one of the things that I say, no, we're not moving Grimes. But if RJ and him can coexist like that, and RJ can let the game come to him more and look for his buddy Grimes more. In other words, the dynamic that we saw between Reggie Bullock and Julius Randle, which is now we're seeing also a lot more Julius Randle and Grimes, we should also see between RJ and Grimes. That made the game easy for the Knicks team. To me, that was one of the keys of the first half blowout they had in Brooklyn. It was much more balanced. Grimes was more involved. They showed confidence in letting him shoot, and it worked out very well. And see, if you have that with RJ, the Knicks can roll this year. They can roll this year because now you have a maturity level basketball wise, has come to RJ. If he could, I want to see, I'm not going to see the game tonight, but I want to see the replay tomorrow. I want to see if he continues that. And if one of them is hot, like if RJ's hot, if they can't do nothing with him, then, they let him roll. If Grimes is hot, they let him roll. The thing is, what you're going to get from Brunson and Randall. You know what you're going to get, right? And teams will double Randall. They need to, because if they don't, he's going to destroy them. And they need to also double Brunson. So if you could get a nice complementary balance of efficiency from RJ and Grimes, and I feel like they're on the verge of that. That's what I saw. To me, that was one of the biggest takeaways of the last game. RJ becoming more efficient, becoming more patient, not forcing it. See, again, at 22, you're going to see inconsistencies, but you're going to see a steady but slow growth. And that maturity that I saw was important. And like I said, if he can continue that with Grimes, I think we're going to be in very good shape. Also, as many of us noted, including myself, the return of Blockness and Mitch Robb was going to help RJ's defense. And it has. Okay? I don't know why. I do know why. It's Mitch Robb, right? Mitch Robb is going to guard that paint. And the Blockness monster is top 4 in the NBA to at that spot doing what he does on the defensive end. There's no doubt in my mind he needs to be in the all-NBA defensive team. One of the 3 of them, he needs to be in there. So that's going, but it seems to benefit RJ more than anybody else, right? And so that's another thing. RJ's defense is picking up because now he's got Mitchell Robinson behind him. Brethren, we're in good shape. We're in good shape. So tonight, against Miami, this is going to be a battle. Miami is like that bear, that you don't want to wake them up, right? Right now, who they got? Let me see. They're looking at the injured list. Jimmy Butler is questionable because of right knee soreness. Lowry is out, and that's honestly. Remember, I was talking to you about the Toronto Raptors, and I said what they're missing is a 5 spot. And if they get a good 5, they can go on a roll. And they started doing that. Well, honestly, Miami's missing the point guard. That's it. Kyle Lowry's finished. I'm just telling you. He's not Kyle Lowry that won the chip a couple of years ago in Toronto. He's still got flashes of it, but he's not that guy no more. Gabe Vincent, Victor Oladipo, they're good, but they're not also that dude. That's why I'm telling y'all, a guy like if you take Kyle Lowry out and you put Emmanuel Quickly in, this is a very difficult team to beat. Very difficult, okay? But without a point guard, they're where we was, without a point guard, okay? So with Lowry out, they're going to start Gabe Vincent, who's a really streaky shooter, Nick Killer, but I'm not worried about him with Grimes out there. And then you got Tyler Hero. If they don't have Jimmy Butler, they're going to start either Caleb Martin or Max Strus. Max Strus is a tremendous shooter, and he plays tough defense as well. They're starting Kevin Love at the 4. Now, Kevin Love is a shooter, no doubt. So we got to guard the perimeter tonight. But come on. Kevin Love cannot guard Julius Randle. Not inside, not outside, not any side. He can't guard Julius Randle, period. And Julius can guard him, okay? So Bam Adebayo becomes their X factor tonight. To me, him and Tyler Hero. So I like Mitch Robb. I'll take Mitch Robb against anybody. But Bam is a dude, man. But I've always liked Bam game. I didn't really see him a lot at Kentucky, but his rookie year in Miami on, I've been extremely impressed by him. I find like he's one of the best 5s in the NBA. And his ability to dribble the ball up the court without turning it over and get and playmate from the 5 spot. See, it's not the stretch thing. It's the playmaking thing to me that's bigger. He plays all NBA level defense. He's an all NBA level rebounder. And he can bring the ball up and start a break. Legit. That's scary. So, but I'm not going to favor anybody over my man Blockness. So that's going to be a battle. It's going to be all good though. So we got to come to play tonight. and be ready for this game. And I'm really confident that the Knicks are. I think they're really feeling good, feeling confident. They got a rhythm to their game in terms of coming together offensively as well as defensively. So I'm very, how can I say this? I'm very hopeful and confident that they should have a good night tonight. The Knicks should have a good night tonight. Brunson, if they try to trot Lowry out there, Brunson's going to go for 40, period. If they trot Lowry out there, Lowry better sit. And even Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent's a tougher defender than Kyle Lowry, though. They better put somebody out there aside from Kyle Lowry, because if Kyle Lowry comes out there trying to guard Jalen Brunson, it's going to be over. Okay? So I like that. So for all you I was listening to, I'm going to use some of the wisdom from Lord Finesse. Y'all remember Lord Finesse? I'm going to use a little wisdom from him. For all you short-sighted so-called Knicks fans that can only see what happened this week, yesterday, and don't understand the long-term implications of the moves like the Don made, or long-term implications and understanding of a 20-year pro coach, two-time coach of the year, Tom Thibodeau. Some of you short-sighted Knicks fans that don't understand how important Mitchell Robinson was, talking about don't sign him. Some of you short-sighted so-called Knicks fans. This year is the next year that you should have saw last year. I'm going to leave it out on that note. Shalom.